Number 4, Dr. David Clark.
Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Economic Development and asks, why has the number of small business startups declined from an average of 8,000 a year under the previous government to fewer than 5,500 under this government?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, first off, Mr. Speaker, could I welcome that member to his first economic development question?
Order.
4 months.
The Minister. Order. The Minister will please answer that question.
It's an exciting day for him, Mr. Speaker, I thought.
Order. Order.
Sorry.
That sort of comment is not helpful to the order of the House. The Minister will now please just answer the question.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it is convention in this House that when a member refers to the previous government, he or she matches the data to that period. In fact, if you look at the data, the majority of the decline in small business startups actually happened in 2008, when that member's party was still in government and New Zealand was in a domestic recession ahead of most of the world. The other point that I think, in terms of the explanation for it, is that may have escaped the attention of the member, but New Zealand, of course, along with the rest of the world, went into a thing known as the global financial crisis, which occurred in recent years. I'm a bit surprised the member is heading down the path Mr. Parker did when he said that ignored the global financial crisis. So 2008 was when most of it happened, and the balance of it because of the global financial crisis.
5 long years.
Supplementary question, Dr. David Clark.
Why did his government further increase compliance costs for small businesses by introducing an annual $45 filing fee for companies when electronic filing used to be free?
Is this the biggest issue of the day?
Well, Mr.
Honourable
Speaker,
Stephen Joyce.
I'm not aware of the exact details of that, Mr. Speaker, because the member didn't place it in his primary question. I would be quite happy to come down and discuss it in the House. But I think it is fair to say, Mr. Speaker, this is probably not the most significant issue that businesses have faced in the last 5 years.
Supplementary question, the Honourable John Banks.
Mr. Speaker, are the following conducive to the formation of small businesses? Introducing a capital gains tax, increasing public debt to fund new spending, printing money, nationalising the electricity sector, having different rates of GST or income based on activity type, resisting reform of the RMA, opposing the supply of more land for housing, resisting form of labour laws and telling investors that their investments will be subject to political will if they ever get their hands on the levers.
Very good.
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, I think the member raises some very fair points, because, of course, none of those things would be helpful to the formation of small businesses. And if the member is concerned, the primary question about small businesses, then I'd persuade his colleagues to abandon all of those policies.
Supplementary question, Dr. David Clark.
Does he agree? Have I done? With respect, Mr. Speaker, I forgot how many supplementary questions I've already asked.
Order.
Is that a legitimate thing to ask you?
Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the point of order is.
No.
The member rose to ask.
Okay, thank you.
Order. Order! I don't want to have to repeat the departure of one member again today. The member is... Order! The member might leave for more reasons than not having the numbers. Dr. David Clark has called for a supplementary.
I was quite thrown by Mr. Banks getting up. Mr. Speaker, has he been advised...
Order! Order! I've called Dr. David Clark. David Clark.
Does he agree that charging small businesses the Financial Markets Authority fee is effectively the cross-subsidisation of large businesses by small businesses? If not, why not?
Well done.
Order.
Well done.
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think in terms of the matters of how much to charge individual different-sized businesses, I know it's been a subject of great debate. My understanding is that the large businesses are paying a very significant amount, as are the medium-sized businesses. But in terms of the issue, the wider issue, of course, it's very important to all businesses that we have good management of our financial markets. It is crucially important, and to pay a small amount to actually improve the management of the financial markets is very important, because we all know what happened when they were badly run, and it was called the finance company collapses of the last government.
Minister.
Supplementary question, Dr. David Clark.
Has he been advised as to why the Minister for Small Business, who popped up earlier, has not led a single practical initiative designed specifically to support small businesses since he took office in 2011? And if so, what are the reasons?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm sorry, the member is simply incorrect. The Minister has been focused on advocating strongly for small businesses right through the period that he has been the Minister for Small Businesses. He is at the Economic Growth and Infrastructure Cabinet Committee every single week. He is one of the strongest attendees. He makes the case for small businesses for every initiative.
Point of order from Dr. David Clark.
Mr. Speaker, my question was very specific and asked what if he had been advised as to why the Minister for Small Business had not led a single practical...
And the Minister rose and said he doesn't agree with the supposition in the question and then proceeded to answer it. Question number 5.
Supplementary question.
Further supplementary, Dr. David Clark.
Does his government consider it appropriate that the main delegated area of ministerial responsibility delegated to Mr. Banks outside small business, to which he contributes nothing, is as the Associate Minister of Commerce in the area of, wait for it, standards?
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr. Speaker, we're a million miles from the start of the first question, but can I say, I think the member's still criticising the Minister of Small Businesses. Can I give him a number of things that the Minister for Small Business has been doing? He's been advocating for NZTE services and grants, advocating for R&D grants for innovating firms. He's set up the Small Business Development Group that we've had. The government has set up its Prime Minister's Business Scholarships. We've had exemptions for small businesses under various pieces of legislation for the 90-day employment probation periods and Section 6A of the Employment Relations Act. The regional business partners are servicing linking businesses to local and national support. We have Business Mentors New Zealand and a number of SME initiatives arising from back in 2009. These are a range of things, and as I say, the Minister advocates strongly for small businesses whenever an economic matter comes up.
Point of order.
Point of order, Honourable Trevor Miller.
Mr. Speaker, crediting this minister with things which that minister said starting in 2009 cannot be a proper answer to this question. He wasn't even a Member of Parliament at the time.
It was an appropriate answer when you consider the tone of the question that was asked. A very
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
The member will resume his seat. When you consider the political nature of the question that was asked, inevitably that is going to get a political answer back again.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Honourable Trevor Miller.
Mr. Speaker, even political answers have to have some concept of truthfulness about them in the House.
Order.
And indicating a minister did something as a minister when he wasn't a Member of Parliament cannot be true.
Order. The member's been here long enough to know that he thinks if the minister has misled the House, then there's an appropriate process. It's not to be done by raising a point of order. Point of order, Honourable Stephen Joyce.
And the shadow leader of the House suggested there was a lack of truthfulness in my answers. I'd appreciate it if he would withdraw and apologise.
Listen, I think on this occasion, if the member wants to take it further, he knows how to do it. Often in a debate in this chamber, a member will disagree with an answer that has been given, and I accept that. So we're moving forward, but I think we have a further point.
I seek leave to table a document from the Parliamentary Library showing a key legislative initiative where an Act of Parliament repealed 31 spent acts which effectively don't exist in the name of the Right Honourable John Banks.
The member will resume his seat. That's available at the Parliamentary Library. It's available to you. Question number 5, Julie Ann Genter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Transport.